welcome to English or Experience. I'm etetutor and this is our A Christmas Carol quotation countdown. So these are quotations that you can learn ready for your GCSE English literature exam. So let's get going. Day 13. So yesterday we saw that Scrooge was quite stressed out. He was reflecting on everything that the spirit was showing him. We're in stage 3, so we've got the ghost of Christmas present at the moment. And excellent, we've got our first one-word quotation. So if you have been watching up to now, you'll know that I said it's good to have a mixture of different types of quotations. So one like this is a lovely little addition, nice and easy to remember. Doom, doom. So, can anybody remember where this word features within A Christmas Carol? Let's have a little look. Now this time we're going to have a little read of this section because it is quite a complicated part and it did come up in the exam last year and people kind of freaked a little bit and got a little bit scared. Now some students seem to think that if something comes up one year it definitely won't come up again the next year. And to some extent that's true. You wouldn't have a character focused question on the same character, I wouldn't have thought, but you still need to know about everything even if it's already been covered. So we're going to take a little look at this section now. So it's page 89 in this book that I'm using, but whichever text you've got, you know it's in stage 3, it's towards the end, so you should be able to find it, okay? Now, why I like this part is because I think it's a good example of a little bit of humour. There is humour throughout this novel, even though it's quite serious and Dickens was trying to make people think about the same things that he was concerned about. There is some humour, and I think that comes from Dickens just being quite an eccentric character. I mean, even if you look at the image on this book, you can see some comedy there, something funny. So let's have a little read. "Forgive me if I am not justified in what I ask," said Scrooge, looking intently at the spirit's robe. "But I see something strange and not belonging to yourself, protruding from your skirts. Is it a foot or a claw?" Okay, maybe it's just me, but I find it funny that Scrooge is sort of trying to peek up this spirit's robe and is obviously a little bit embarrassed about asking to look up there. And then we get the really sad part. So, "It might be a claw, for the flesh there is upon it," was the spirit's sorrowful reply. "Look here." From the foldings of its robe it brought 2 children. Wretched, abject, frightful, hideous, miserable. They knelt down at its feet and clung upon the outside of its garments. "Oh, man, look here! Look down here!" exclaimed the ghost. They were a boy and a girl. Yellow, meagre, ragged, scowling, wolfish, but prostrate too in their humility. Where graceful youth should have filled their features out and touched them with the freshest of its tints, a stale and shrivelled hand like that of age had pinched and twisted them and pulled them into shreds. Okay, so we've got some quite vivid imagery there of these poor, unfortunate children. And Scrooge is obviously very shocked by this and wants a bit of an explanation. He's been knocking about with this guy for a little while now and all of a sudden discovered these kids under his robe. So he's going through it, poor Scrooge. So he says to the spirit, "Are they yours?" And the spirit replies that they are man's. And the boy is ignorance and the girl is want. And he's using them as a message to say to Scrooge, we don't want these kind of people within our society. We don't want children who are suffering, who are wanting, and we don't want a society full of ignorant people who ignore problems and don't try to deal with them. So there's a message behind these children. They symbolise the ills of Victorian society. And the Spirit says that we need to beware them both, but most of all, beware this boy, for on his brow I see that written which is doom. So the Spirit is imparting this message to Scrooge, saying that if we carry on the way we are, with this inequality between the upper classes, the middle classes, and the really destitute members of society, we're doomed. Okay? And on that note, I will leave you. Alright then, best of luck. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to use the comments section. And if you're finding these videos help, please hit like so other students know that they're worth a watch too. Alright then, bye!